Say hello, ghost. Say hello, ghost. Yeah, that'd be a good one, wouldn't it, if you said hello back. Yeah, I'm out walking the dog at the moment, as you can tell, and it is blooming hot over in England at the moment. So, sorry if I keep sweating everywhere or stopping to have a drink. Right, today's video is a hard story to tell, but I think it needs to be told. I'm going to call the guy Richard. He's no longer with us, yeah? Alright, actually I'll call him by his nickname, Titch. Right, so this story needs to be told. I don't condone violence, or not that there's any violence in this story, but it's definitely a hard story to tell, because my man got really ill in the jail, and by the time they realised, because of medical, it was too late. Anyway, so with that, let's get into it. Yeah, this Simon Says, Off the Yard UK, HMP Staley. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm the year I'd say was about 2000, I'd like to say 2019. I'm already like a year or so in my bed. I've just got transferred from, I started off in Bristol, HMP Bristol, which is a holding jail. You go through all your court procedures and then you finally get sentenced, and then they ship you off. Now Portland, HMP Portland, is a jail they hold the YOIs, which is Young Offenders Institution, and then you have your HMP, Her Majesty's Prisoners, you know. So anyway, they mix in the younglings and the adults. They should be on different wings, but if they're naughty, there's only one young offenders wing, so they do get put in with the adults, and they get put behind the door for their own safety, so to say. But a lot of them can hold their own. Oh, hello you lot. That's right, just making a video. Yeah, and you, mate. Come on, Ghost. Sorry about that. Come on, Ghost. Puppy, come on. Ghost. Sorry about this, people. Anyway, so I'm just being transferred to HMP Portland. Basically, you go on to the introduction wing, and then you sit there for like a moon. A moon is term for a month, and then they assign you to which block you're going to be in. And the problem with Portland is, a lot of people think if you kick off and cause trouble, you will get shipped out. Not in Portland. You got to do something really bad for them to get you off out of there, unless you're being transferred from Portland's C-Cat. You have A-Cat, which is for murderers. That's the high end of the caliber. Like A-Cat is category. So you have Cat A, Cat B, Cat C, and then Cat D. Cat D is an open prison. I never managed to get to Cat D, neither would I want to, because as soon as you land there, even though it's an open jail, you have to sign a disclaimer, and you could be in there with pedos, ex-coppers, they're all mingled in together, and you sign that, and you will get street charges if you lay your hands on these filthy, disgusting animals. Yeah, so yeah, I was always classed as high risk, because my past. I will tell a story about this, but not today. I am a survivor of SA. But so I really hate pedos. If you go and watch Jay Delay, he is probably my inspiration to actually come out of this on YouTube. So my friends, family know about it, but you know, he was a friend of the family. Yeah, I'll tell you another time. Anyway, back to the story. So I've landed in Portland. It's a cat C, and I will sit and do the rest of my bit. So the Titch already been there like a couple of years, and he was called Titch because he looked really frail, ill, and you know, he had like only a few people that go in the cell. He also smoked that awful, horrible shit, spice, K2, whatever you want to call it. But when I learned his circumstances, I don't blame him. But anyway, I come to find out he was the last couple of months of his life due to cancer. And what really shocked me is how he got cancer. Because when he come in, you know, he was fit, healthy. He's in for burglary. Anyway, he got a few years for that. I think he was doing like a 5 stretch. So, yeah. Come to find out his story. So, while we're at it, if you like this video, please subscribe, press the like button. That really helps me with the algorithm, and I really appreciate it. Leave a comment on what sort of videos you want me to do and what you want me to talk about. And I will start doing interviews from people in England. So if you're watching this and you've done a fair bit of time in HMP, let me know and hit me up, and I'll get back to you, and we're doing interviews somehow, whether it be over live screen or face to face. I will have a few of my friends who've done long term. At my church there's an ex-copper. He agreed to do an interview. He's got some mad stories. So that's all coming. Trying to build this channel. My last channel, I lost my phone, I lost all the information. Yeah, so I'm trying to build this one back up. I'm only on 4 subscribers, but this one I done a video 2 days ago. This is my third video. So please like, subscribe, tell a friend. Let's get this channel popping. Let's show the rest of the world what HMP's all about. Anyway, Titch. So I got to know him. He's quite a funny one. He didn't really hang about with many people. I used to sell him my sleeper tablets. That's how I got to know him. You know, I didn't really hang about with him too much because he was doing the spice. But I got to find out his story, and I got to see him and say goodbye before he left to go and die in hospital. Anyway, story of Titch. Sorry. As you know, I don't edit these, so sort of off my own back. When I do get a computer, I will edit them. But until then, you just have to put up me going, bleh. Right. So Titch, he had 5 years, and by then, prison stopped smoking. He was a heavy smoker, plus you need tobacco to smoke the spice paper. Basically, it's A4 paper or bits of paper sprayed with bug spray. It's really bad chemicals. There's nothing man-made about it. I'll get into spice and what it's really about another time. So he was a heavy smoker on the spice, given what he's going through cancer. So in HMP jails, when they stop the smoking, you get vapes. And you have to buy the little capsules, and they were like £5 just for 3 caps. And it caused more fights on canteen day than most stuff, because you only get 3 caps. They're meant to last you for a week. And yeah, people get beat up, robbed, especially in Portland. You know, when I was getting shipped and they said, oh, you're going to Portland, people going, oh my God, I wouldn't go there, mate, wouldn't go there. But I had no choice. Anyway, got there. I was on the introduction wing for a month, done that. And I was assigned to Bembo. That was my my tier. In England, you have 12 cells per tier with 3 landings. Some prisons, the older ones, do have a 4th floor. Then you have your half tiers, half of 12, 6. And that's basically, you have your landing. At the bottom you have your pool table or ping pong table, yada yada yada. You have your own TVs in your cell if you're behaved. You can have computers in cat C's, but you have to be there for a few months to be enhanced. So forth, you get your extras. So anyway, I'm talking to Titch, and he's getting to the point where he's telling me how he got cancer. So when they took smoking out, you got your vapes and then you get your patches. So if you can see here now, I'm wearing a little square patch. I'm trying to get off the vapes. See there, see where it's a bit cloudy and murky? That's the glue. In the glue, you have little black specks. That's your tobacco, or that's the nicotine. These patches are big white, round white ones, yeah, with another circle in the middle, and that's your nicotine's in the glue. So what people would do is get a razor blade, they get a razor, a steak razor, stamp on it, get the blade out, and they go lay it down on the table and scrape it all the glue off until you get like a long stick of like this sticky, horrible, gluey, brown and black glue basically. So that's what they were doing, and he'd been smoking that for about 2 years. He started losing a lot of weight, complains about being ill, but because of the medical situation, you've got to literally be dying before they take it serious. Well, little did they know, he was actually dying. By the time they realised that he was ill, he collapsed, nearly swallowed his tongue, vomit and that. They took him to an outside hospital, chained to the bed and that, and said, basically, you've got cancer, you've had it for a little while, and you've only got a few months to live. And there's nothing they can do about it, unfortunately. They could have if they caught it earlier. But like I said, with the medical situation in prison, yeah, it took him to collapse, basically. And so my advice is, don't scrape the glue off the patches and try and smoke it. It is highly poisonous, deadly. You know, like, people like their spice, and unfortunately they'll do anything so they can smoke it and get their tobacco. Anyway, so it's coming up to, I think, he's really ill. They basically put him in a hospital. They wheeled him out in a stretcher. He went to the hospital to go and pass away. Little did they know, he had the last laugh. You'd think, nearly dying, they'd let him home, even though he had half a year to go and he would have been out anyway. You'd think they'd let him out on compassionate leave and go die with his family. But they said, no, can't do that. He's still got half a year. And it's well, he's going to die in a couple of months, but no, they didn't care. So basically they took him to the hospital to spend the last few months of his life with his loved ones and his family. Little did they know, he had a plan up his sleeve. He pretended to be more ill than he was, and it got back to the wing that he escaped, and last they heard he was getting on a train, and by the time they did find him, he was in a hotel room, and unfortunately he took his own life. But he did have at least a month and a half on the run. And there was a big chair. We made a cake out of biscuits, digestive biscuits and that. We had a big munch out for tips. So it was a good our little way of send off, you know what I mean? So, but if you're going to smoke anything, please don't use the glue off the patches. It's highly toxic, lethal. Excuse me a second. Ghost! Come on! Here he comes. And the second story, can't believe I'm telling this. I find it really hard to tell these stories. It's etched in my mind and I really don't like telling them. I find it hard telling my own wife. I got with my wife when I got out of jail. My wife before that, just before I got my 3.5 years, my mum passed away, and then my wife also was diagnosed with cancer. She passed away later on. But I got out, and Charlotte was like my best friend, and then we ended up getting together. She actually met with Lynn before she went home to pass, and she was like, oh, I'm so glad Si's got someone, you look after him, there's no animosity, it's a story for another day. Anyway, this story happened in HMP Bristol. HMP Bristol, as I told you, is a holding prison. You wait there while you're on remand and waiting sentence. As soon as you get sentenced, you're out of there. So one day I'm out on the landing, and everybody's coming back from visits, and when something's hitting the tier, because all the spice heads will be out and about waiting, itching, they actually come out. So this one guy comes off visits, and they're that blatant. They're like, oh, did you get it? Did you get the package? Over in Hawfield, they don't really care as long as there's no trouble, but today, well, you'll get it here. So anyway, a couple of hours later, we're locked down for dinner. Then you have an hour quiet time, and then they let you out a bit later. So I'm doing my laps around the outside tier. I'm trying to get everything ready for lockdown for the end of the night, see if you can get a packet of noodles. In America they call them soups for some reason. I suppose because it looks like a soup, noodle soup, but we just call them noodles. So anyway, I'm doing my rounds, and I hear this almighty, get off me, no, what are you doing? Everybody's looking, sort of thing. and I noticed like a congregation outside a cell near the end on level 2. So I was on that level anyway, doing my little rounds, and the screaming. Then you heard just a muffling sound, like they're trying to gag him, and a few smack sounds like yeah. You probably sort of half guess what I'm about to say. So anyway, as I walk past, I see 2 people holding this guy down while the other one sitting on his legs. And he has a broken off handle of, we're in England, we have thick plastic spoons. Yeah, they've snapped off the ends and they pulled this boy's trousers down because obviously he's had his drugs in his prison wallet. And if you don't know what that is, it's in your rectum. So they've got him pinned to the floor, they've gagged him, they've got his trousers down, and as I've walked past, I've actually seen it with my own eyes. And it sickens me, the thought of it, that grown men, it's the nearest to rape. It happens in England, but you don't really hear about it. Maybe in Cat A's a while ago, or Borstal, before they abolished Borstals, rape was quite high then, with long-termers, especially being horny teenagers and that. It's sick, I know. So as I'm walking by, I glimpse it. He's got this handle of the spoon and he's gone into his rectum and digging about. By this time, I've walked off. I don't want nothing to do with it. I've gone down the steps onto the first tier. And by this time, the deuce has gone off. That's the alarm they press the little radio and all the screws come running. COs, coppers, we call them screws. I'll tell you why they're called screws in another video. But yeah, so they pinned this kid down, they've got a spoon handle and they've gone in his rectum to get the package. Whether they got the package, they're all gripped up, sent down to the block, and they actually did get outside charges for rape. But they call it spooning. I've heard of this happening in a few prisons. It's quite common, unfortunately. If you're hiding a package in your rectum, they don't care, they're coming for it. And they will get a spoon or a handle, go in your rectum, put it up in there and pull the package out. And yeah, it's rape. So that's what happened to that kiddie. So if you do end up in jail, if you have the unfortunate happenings of going to prison, don't be telling everybody, oh, I'm getting a visit today, wink wink. Keep that to yourself, because people will get really jealous and they will come and get that package, especially if it's spice or heroin, something like that. Before you know it, you've got 3-4 guys in your cell and you've got a spoon up your bum. I will tell some more stories about some horror stories I've seen or heard, but right now I think I've had enough of saying this story. Please like, subscribe. In the comments, let me know if you want to hear horror stories, you want to hear success stories, what sort of stories you want to hear, what interviews. If you want to be interviewed, let me know. Please like, subscribe. This Simon Says HMP. God bless you all and stay the fuck out of trouble. It's really not worth it. The things I've seen over the years of doing bird is burnt in my mind. I've been out 5 years now. I still struggle about talking about this, even to my own wife. This is my sort of therapy. I tell the story At the moment, I can't edit, so I'm doing it off my back. If you don't believe me, tough, but why would I make it up? You know what I mean? These things really do bother me, and I find it really hard to talk about, but I'm telling it off my back, so it's true. If you don't believe me, well, go to another channel, but, you know, this is my therapy. I'm trying to warn you, educate you about what happens in HMP jails, prisons, sorry. And, you know, I went through it, so you lot don't have to. Just listen to my stories, and maybe if it keeps one person from going to prison, then I've done my job. I'll also be talking about addiction in jail and outside the jail, mental health, and we'll cover what we can. Hopefully this will grow and we can have our own little community, maybe link up with other community channels like JD Delay. You know, I'd like to be able to share some stories with him and do an interview, because he's doing what I'm trying to become, which is a drug worker to help rehabilitate addicts. I've been there myself, 26 years of addiction, being homeless, on and off the streets. I've done stupid things just to go to jail in the winter, basically. And this the longest time I've been out, 5 years and a couple of months. I've been struggling. I get really bad PTSD. That's a real thing. And this is my way of sharing with you lot and getting it off my back. So anyway, hope you don't have too many nightmares. Stay the fuck out of trouble, and God bless. Amen. Well, I would say bye, Ghost, but he's gone. God bless all.